Alright, welcome back to Remnant from the Ashes. We're back inside Ward Prime. That's our main objective, or final objective for this section. But we did get a key to the maintenance section, so let's go ahead and open that door. So, if we look hard at these disturbances, anomalies, it looks an awful lot like the crystal that we knew they destroyed in an attempt to stop the root. It didn't seem to stop the root at all, but it did do some damage to the ward.
Dr. Ulrich Harsgaard, December 13th, 1962. The early wards have experienced a number of setbacks. The Dreamer in Ward 2 was the center of a mass murder-suicide earlier this year, and Ward 3 is now nothing more than a burnt-out husk. These incidents seem to have stemmed from miscalculations with the Dreamers. Their minds could not handle the reality of what they experienced. Or so I suspect. There have been murmurings to shut down the wards, but Clawbone's writings warned such things might happen. There is no other way. If we are to save our world, to bind our minds with Clawbone himself, then these are the sacrifices that must be made. Everyone knows what is at stake here. To use a vernacular phrase, we will reach utopia or bust.
So he's now named the writer of the runes he's found. Well, bugger. Okay, I was gonna go in there first, but maybe not. So, this is a good time to explore and find the bulbs that we need to shoot. That's a good start right there. There's another one up here, near the entrance. Huh. Doesn't appear to let us do... Doesn't appear we are doing any damage to it. There's another one there. So what we have to do is we have to destroy the obstructions in order to get the reactor to restart, which gets the power, which lets us open the door to the center of the ward, which was destroyed by an implosion bomb. Maybe. We got 3 levels of this, so might as well give it a shot now. Be prepared to run for your life. There goes one. We've made some progress. Just do it a couple more times. I don't think we're doing any damage to that. Alright, let's go downstairs. This way. Okay.
It's over.
So now we've got 2 out of 3. Back upstairs. That flamethrower effect seems to have done wonders. They're shaking, but they're not moving. That's interesting. Excuse me. Here we go, last one. I think we restarted the reactor. Or at least removed the obstructions so that we can restart the reactor. Let's go take a look at the control room. Initialize reactor. Hooray! That's not how reactors work. So, the way reactors actually work is once you get the reaction going, it's self-sustaining, effectively. As long as it's cool, it's self-sustaining. As long as you can keep it cool, it self-sustains. As long as it's cool and you feed it fuel, I should say. So self-sustaining is probably the wrong word. I need ammo anyway. Not what I wanted. Yeesh. So you feed the reactor, keep it cool and feed it fuel, and it will generate, it'll boil water. That's the fun part about nuclear energy. Everybody's like, oh god, nuclear energy, what, you use radiation to make power. How would you do that? It's easy. You use the radiation heat from the radioactive material to boil water to generate steam. All reactors except for coal reactors boil water. Nuclear reactors boil water. Oil reactors, when we were burning oil, we boil water. Everything, all our technology is based around the movement of water. Just mind-numbing to think about, isn't it? My point is... Well, we got the power back on. We have lore to read. Now, my point is that the reason you have rods is to stop the reaction or slow it down should it get out of control. That's what neutronium does. Those were what those rods are made out of. They're neutronium. Neutronium absorbs alpha and gamma particles, which is what causes the reaction anyway. Unlock medicine storage. Hell yeah. Log. Watch your sedation. June 12th, 1961. Harsgaard and Schulmacher, that's the name, said Katrin's conscious thought is getting in the way of connecting the world stone. They've asked me to look into sedation possibilities, though I'm not sure how it will work if we want to record conscious observations. Maybe dream imagery? I'll have Dr. Lim look into it. His thesis was on drugs that enhance dream lucidity. That might be the key. 4th of July, 1961. Forced to work on the 4th of July. Harsgaard's got a bug up his ass about these dreamers. Alright, Schulmacher and most of the rest of them too. I should have known secret military project meant secretly bulldozing workers' rights. At least I get overtime. Medical storage. Apparently one of the attendants has been using their off hours for recreational ketamine use. Now all access to medical storage has to go through me. Fantastic. This is how bureaucracies happen, people. Gaston's restraints. September 8th, 1962. Ward 2 Dreamer has shown signs of mild wakefulness. Mild limb movement is normal as far as we understand what normal means for this kind of experimental sedation. Some of the team want his sedation increased. Harsgaard, on the other hand, refused. Instead, he ordered Gaston's restraints be tightened with no dosage change at all. I'm not sure I understand what the restraints are even for. Is Harsgaard worried Gaston might walk in his sleep? Antidepressants for Weisskopf. Dr. Lim has requested antidepressants for Katrin's team. I talked to Sebastian, who I understand has interviewed several of them and knows their psychological state better than anyone, and received his approval. About 10 minutes later, Harsgaard came into my office and asked me not to approve any medication. He said he feared the medication might negatively impact Ward 1's ability to focus, even after I assured him it would do no such thing. At least not in the dosages I plan to prescribe. I don't even know how Dr. Harsgaard was aware of the request. He's a smart man, can't imagine he would be against this. Dr. Harsgaard's orders for Ward 1, February 8, 1963. In light of Brunner's death and Schulmacher's quarantine, I feel I need to put this on record, especially now that I reread my previous log entry. I asked Harsgaard if I could examine the bodies from Ward 1 incident. To my surprise, he refused, ordering me to seal the entire ward to avoid any possible contagion. A wise enough order, and I obeyed, but this morning several bodies were delivered to us with strict orders to keep the bags locked up under and on ice. We were told they were soldiers and that any other information was classified. I looked up their names and ranks. They don't exist. So where did the bodies come from? I don't have enough evidence to file an official report, and given Harsgaard's influence at the top, I'm afraid to do so, but I'm worried about how much he may know, or even be engineering. What has happened to the first 3 wards? Maybe I'm just writing this for my unconscious then. I don't know. So, yeah. Harsgaard is playing silly buggers. Medical storage is open, which gets us access to the key. Gets us access to the laboratory. I know it's pronounced laboratory, but look at that. It's laboratory. I like this. It's a change. It's a nice change from run through here, killing everything that moves, that we've been playing so far, and it's more of here's some combat, here's a puzzle, here's some combat, here's a puzzle. So here we go. Speaking of puzzles. Holy crap, Batman. I think I'm seeing where this is going. Do we have the ammo for it? Doesn't look like it. Here's another 60s style briefing room. Ah, but I do have ammo boxes. February 9th, 1963. Alas, I will never have that conversation with Schulmacher, at least not in the manner I hoped. The man has become unhinged, but he has definitely seen Clawbone. The notes of the late Dr. Brunner provide some insight into what happened in Ward 1. Although their dreamer had not been bonded to any guardian in a proper sense, Clawbone, or something similar, was trying to speak through the dreamer to the scientists of the ward. Their minds could not handle this contact, and it manifested as an advanced form of nihilism that led to the deaths of many. Why have I not been affected this way? Perhaps because I've read the runes, or I've seen Clawbone's society, a vision of what ours could be, or perhaps I have not been affected for the same reason. I alone seem to be able to decipher the runes. Cessation is equality, serenity among ashes. These words are in Dr. Brunner's final notes. He interpreted them existentially based on Darwinian assumption that survival is the ultimate goal and cessation therefore is evil. It drove him insane. But that's not how I read these words at all. This incident makes one thing at least very clear. When we have perfected the dreamers, when we finally speak with Clawbone, I must be the one to speak to him. Ulrich Harsgaard is our Yeah, so they know what's coming. They did nothing to stop it. As a matter of fact, they actively sought it out because they're all fucking nuts. I'm gonna hop in the go for the checkpoint and get my ammo back because I'm not getting a whole lot in the way of drops. Okay, so that's where we came from. Actually, what am I kidding? I can just use this thing. Hooray, full ammo. Alright. They don't want any. Nope, leave me alone. That's one. We have to do this 2 more times. Ow. Note to self, dodge. Eat. Go away. Ow. Ooh, a thing. Home of Knowledge. More audio.
Dr. Harsgaard, April 10th, 1964. I am leaving for Ward 13. The experiments of Ward Prime have proven informative, but we are exploring more promising avenues in the other wards. Starting with subject 2409. Dr. Itzaso says the Dreamer has successfully connected, the first of our Dreamers to do so, and his vitals are stable. Let us see what he sees. From Ward 13, I will also be able to visit the rooms more easily. I learn more every time I investigate them. Even reading the same passages over again, I see connotations and meanings I did not notice before, as if the text were speaking directly to my mind. We will continue the Dreamer projects, tuning them, perfecting them, until one day I can connect a Dreamer to Clawbone himself. I can feel him, waiting on the edge of perception. He whispers to me, touches my dreams. I must speak with him. He has the answers we need. If we can but find that one crucial connection. Immortality, equality, cessation, serenity. Soon, we'll have it all.
How did nobody notice he was completely nuts? Hydrocoolant. We picked this up because it was sitting on the floor. Extinguishes burning effect and increases fire resistance by 30%. 10 minutes. Lasts for 10 minutes. Meant for old engines, but ain't no engines run no more. Works just as well on people in a pinch. Yeah, okay. Nobody listened to those audio logs? I'm dumping points into Mind's Eye so we can get our damage up. These look interesting. That looks intact. Ooh. Logs. June 24th, 1968. Based on the lack of response, I assume this computer is used for blogging purposes rather than communication. That's unfortunate. I've been down here for 3 days with no contact, so I might as well log my own report. I was part of the fire team sent to clear the hostiles from the lower levels. We encountered heavy resistance and were forced to retreat. In doing so, I got separated from my team and took shelter here. Unfortunately, now the door won't budge. I'm trapped. There's plenty of food, so survival shouldn't be a problem. I expect they'll find me after the invasion has been contained. Until then, I'll continue working at the door, listening for signs of activity and maintaining a state of readiness. Private Torres out. June 28, 1968. To be honest, the date of this report is just a guess. I've slept 5 times since the last log, but I have no way of knowing how much time has actually passed. I haven't heard any activity outside the door. I've spent most of my time keeping in shape and investigating my surroundings. It looks like they mix drugs for the dreamers in here. I also found a fuse abandoned behind a cabinet. It appears functional and may even be the reason the door won't work. But I've been unable to find the circuit breakers that need it. I'll keep looking. That's all I have to report, I guess. I'm safe for now. I'm grateful, but I hope they find me soon. I'm getting antsy for someone to talk to. July 3rd? 2nd? 3rd? I've lost track of the date. Sorry, I'm certain I'm staying awake longer than normal. Probably sleeping longer too. Who knows? I heard noises outside today, howling and gunfire. I slammed on the door, shouting as loud as I could, but no one came. Then the screaming started. It got real quiet after that. Still safe, I guess. But I might be stuck here longer than I thought. Much later. I have no idea how much time has passed. I'm basically just typing in this thing for something to do. No one's come. It's completely quiet outside the door. Jerry thinks they forgot about us. Maybe they're all dead. The roots in here are growing faster. I can't see them growing or anything. I just swear they're getting bigger. Kind of scared to go near them. Still got food and Jerry, so that's something. At least I'm not alone. Bored. I think I'm starting to go nuts. We're running out of ways to pass the time. We've played scavenger hunts, Mad Libs, charades, hide and seek. It's totally unfair how good Jerry is at that one. I even caught Jerry the drum line to I Can See for Miles, but that got old after the 30th repetition. Jerry thinks we should try some of the drugs in here. I told him he's crazy. Who knows what that would do to us? Heard some new noises outside. Growling, chittering, maybe some speaking? Couldn't make out any words, though. There's some scratching at the door. I banged at it, yelled, why the hell not? Right? Open is open, even if I have to fight my way out, but whatever. But whatever was out there went away. That was like 7 sleeps ago. Hell, maybe I hallucinated. I miss other people. Scientific investigation. Poked at the roots today, thought I saw something glowing underneath, so I got a scalpel and cut into them. I didn't get very far. They wouldn't stop screaming. I shouldn't be surprised. Same thing happened to the walls the other day. In which Jerry wins. Stop counting sleeps after 40, or was it 60? Don't much matter. Starting on the drugs today. We'll go easy at first. Maybe that Gaston cocktail or whatever mentioned in the earlier logs. Dream lucidity sounds like a gas. Gaston's cocktail. October 1962. Dr. Simpkins suggests that the dreamer Gaston's breakdown can be at least partially attributed to the solution he was giving. Before more dreamers are connected, we'll need to test several different compounds, decreasing the amount of galantamine as much as we can without losing dream lucidity. Please advise Dr. Harsgaard that all dreamer experiments should be put on hold until we find appropriate values. I would also like to note again that I found Dr. Weisskopf's reactor code, this time penciled onto the ceiling above this workstation. Someone needs to confront him about this. If there had been a security inspection, we would have all had our clearances revoked. Thank you. Reactor security. I talked to Weisskopf a few days ago, and I haven't seen any codes since. Either he took the hint and actually memorized the damn thing, doubt it, or he's hidden it in his office somewhere, so long as only his career that's in danger, I guess. Ward 1 contagion. February 1963, upon further investigation into the Ward 1 problem, I believe the methamide and oxycane levels were unbalanced, leading to electrical fields far beyond that of normal range. Dr. Harsgaard agreed that the correct balance must be found before reconnecting Ward 4. However, he also asked me to look into what it would take to increase the field range even further. He assured me it was strictly scientific and that whatever cocktail I came up with would never be used on human subjects. But why do it then? Do we have an ethics committee I can discuss this with? Assistance required. This is Private Benjamin Torres. I'm trapped alone inside the medical lab facility in the lower levels of Ward Prime. If anyone can read this, please send assistance immediately. So, I think we actually have to be in the other realm. First of all, fuse. Nice. And I think we actually have to come back in here in the other realm to get the code. Because I think in the other realm it's still written on the wall. Or maybe we need to just get in there. Anyway, let's go kick in that door. Hear him swing just as we transition to something else. This looks just like resources. Okay. Nothing on the ceiling except mold. Nothing on the walls. Now that we have the fuse, we can go back to the upper level, if I can figure out how to get there. Put that in and activate the power up there. Might as well hop the checkpoint too. And I gotta remember where it is. Power hasn't made it all the way up here. That's interesting. There we go. Follow the blinking lights. Say fear. I keep forgetting that some of the items have descriptions on them. That's my fault. Alright, we have power, which means we have logs to read. Security risk. Once again, I'm told that my methods to remember security codes are improper and unsafe. I don't see what the risk is. Ward Prime is locked down tighter than my mother-in-law's approval of me. Even if someone could get in here, what? They're going to associate some random number they found on the walls with the storage room in my office? Right. It's absurd to expect us to remember a new code every 60 days. I have quite enough to remember, thank you. This is untenable. I need to figure out some other solution. Ward 1. I'm taking a lot of heat for what happened in Ward 1, as if I could have prevented it. That's not my job, people. I interview subjects, record data, study trends, and sure, I try to help people if I can, but in all my career, I've never seen anything like what happened to Brenner and Schullermacher. Both of them suffered from some extreme form of depression, obviously. But there was nothing in our sessions to suggest this. At least Schullermacher's alive. I can't wait to see what he has to say now. I finally figured out a system to remember the storage room code. I can't write it down here, obviously, but it's a little complex. I got some help from my brother-in-law, the mathematician. So I need some notes to self. The code only uses digits from 1 to 5, right? So if I assign 2-digit code to each letter of the alphabet, then I only have to remember 3 letters instead of a random 6-digit number. Then I just need to remember which letters represent the current code. My brother-in-law suggested I use mnemonics to make words, but then I'm still memorizing a new code every 2 months. I have a better idea. It means I can't play my crossword game anymore, but nobody around here ever played with me anyway. October 3rd, 1965. Note to self. Ensure Schullermacher's straitjacket is secure before leaving him alone. I'm fairly certain he's no longer a contagion risk, but he's still a danger to himself and others. Also remind staff not to speak with him without authorization. In several instances, seemingly innocuous conversations have driven Schullermacher, or as happened today, an attendant, to near suicidal depression. Lower Ward lockdown. June 21st, 1968. They've locked everything down on the World Stone level and below. They say the incursion has been contained, but I haven't been interviewing survivors. Contained isn't how they described it at all. Although, to be fair, their perspective is likely to show bias. Note to self. Talk to Commander Neville about what's going on down here. June 25th. Evacuation. They say we have less than 24 hours to pack up and leave before they employ emergency military measures. Is this for real? What the hell? There have been squads of Marines down there for days. They said they had it contained. I'm not sure what to do with this information. I have several years worth of case interviews that will take me days to carry out. They don't expect me to abandon all data, do they? Deletion note. Apparently I'm not allowed to store security codes on this machine. Fine. First entry, August 20th, 1961. This is Sebastian Weisskopf, the new head of psychology at Ward Prime. I've been brought on because some scientists reported unusual depression and anxiety. Not exactly what I thought I'd be doing for the government. At least I get an office. Gaston. The dreamer in Ward 2 committed several murders last night, then took his own life. I don't even know how they could become conscious. Several surviving witnesses are now under my auspices, and Neville is breathing down my neck to understand what happened. Looks like I have my work cut out for me. July 20th, 1968. Schullermacher has been... 1968. Schullermacher has been behaving strangely the last couple of days, more than usual. I mean, and I haven't received any communication back from the other wards. What is going on? Alright. IOU. Not sure. We'll have to sort that out. So real quick, Dr. N.G. Sato. Tell you what, I'm going to call this a video. We'll do the logs for Sato, Dr. Sato in the next one. And then finally we'll figure out what the code for IOU is. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.